And this is to go even further beyond!
Hey, how you doing, Devora? Time for some revenge. How's it going, everyone? My name is True Underdog, and today I'll be trying out all of Mileena's attack strings, special moves, and so on to see if this character is terrific or terrible. For anyone who's not aware, this has been my most requested character since the game came out, so without any further ado, let's get started with the universal attacks. So first up, the down one. I've heard this isn't the best from Aziz. Oh, the range isn't actually that bad. Maybe they did update it a little bit. It's not great range, but it's not bad either, and it's 7 frames, not a big deal. In fact, it may pull the enemy closer to me. That's kind of weird. I think she's getting closer as I hit her. So the range is not the best, and 7 frames is pretty average, but it pulls the enemy closer when you land it, and look at that, it's plus 13. That's really good. Next up, we have the down 3. What's the down 3? Ooh, that's definitely in reference to MK9. Look at this thing. It may not get as low as Katana's, but I'd be surprised if it didn't. The hurt box looks really good on this thing, and look at the range, and once again, plus 13 on hit. This thing is redonkulous. Now, 12 frames on startup, that's a bit slow, but this range, I can't get over how good this range is. Okay, but now it's time for down 4. What's down 4 like? It does look just like Terminator. Aziz was right about that too. But not bad, you know, nothing wrong with it. Got a really big knockback. It's plus 19, but the knockback kind of makes that a deal breaker, except in the corner. If you land this thing in the corner, you're at plus 19 and they're still right in your face. So not a bad poke, not bad at all. Whoops, that's a ball roll. Did not mean to do that. However, how are these moves on block? I didn't check that. So the down 1 is -6. The down 3 is -8. So that's fully punishable. Be careful with that thing up close, and then -7 for the down 4. So the down 4 is not punishable. The down 3 is, but from really far away, let's be real, like what's -8 from this far away? You're not punishing it. And then last but not least, we have the uppercut. Oof, the range is not the best, but it does appear to hit directly above her, so that's nice. Not very good horizontal range, but the vertical range seems okay. All right, now time for the throws. What's the forward throw? I love the animations on all of her throws, by the way. They're absolutely amazing. Okay, so you're plus 15, and the opponent is somewhat close, not super far away. How about the back throw? This one I do believe puts some distance between both of you. Oh yeah, they're really far away, so this will benefit her zoning variation quite a lot, but if you want to play rush down, then forward throw is what you want, because back throw puts them pretty far away. And not to mention, the forward throw also has a crushing blow on it, but the requirements are a bit weird, so if you don't jump or get knocked down for 10 seconds, you get this crushing blow. And to me, that sounds good and bad at the same time. It's bad in the sense that mixing up your throws does not matter, because escaped fail does not do anything good for Mileena. However, this crushing blow could be really good, because maybe you knock the opponent down, you bait a wake up, you do a combo, and then maybe the 10 seconds has already gone by, you land a forward throw and get the crushing blow pretty easily. And the same is also true for zoning. Maybe the entire match you're throwing projectiles, the opponent finally gets in but does something unsafe, you block it and then punish with a throw, that's a crushing blow too. Or in summary, this crushing blow seems like it's actually pretty decent, it's just got a very weird requirement. Okay, but what about the short hops? Short hop 3? Not the best range. Short hop 2, not the best range either. Pretty generic short hops, but then again, Mileena has a command overhead just like Baraka, so she doesn't really need a good short hop. And then it's time for the jump-ins. What are these like? Okay, jumping 1, I like it. It looks pretty decent. Jumping 2, ooh, the range on that is like Cabal's jumping 2. Look at this thing. It's not as good, but only by a little bit. That seems like a pretty good hitbox, I'm not going to lie. So jumping 2 does not hit downward, but it has a really good range. Jumping 1 hits a bit earlier to try and beat anti-airs, and it's a bit meaty too. You can do it kind of early and they still land on it. That's pretty darn good. Her jump-ins seem okay. Jumping 3, pretty generic jumping 3. It's not a Baraka level kick, it's just an okay jumping 3, not bad. And then finally it's time for the wake-ups. Everyone tells me I forget to do the wake-ups, and you are completely right. Here is a sweep, and let's see what the wake-up 3 looks like. Range is pretty good. That's like some Scorpion level range. Is it safe on block though? It might not be, and that's a problem if so. Let's see. Some wake up 3s are not safe, and I'm kind of in favor of that. -6, it's completely safe and has fantastic range. That's a good wake up 3, certainly better than Katana's. What about the wake up 2? I've seen the animation on this thing because of the AI, and it's hilarious. It's like Samus's screw attack. I love it so much. She just flies straight upward. Now the issue with this move is if they jump over you and cross up, you likely could miss because Mileena does go forward. But the good news is if you flawless block something and do this move, it's got some pretty good range on it, so I imagine it won't whiff. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied with Mileena's universal kit. She has nothing too exceptional outside of this down 3, which is really good range, but also -8 on block up close, so it kind of evens out. So while Mileena might not have anything crazy in her universal kit, nothing is really lacking either, and I'm very happy about that. Now, alright, but now it's time for the different attack strings. This is my favorite part of the video for anyone who's new to this channel. I love it so very, very much. I'm gonna map all these bad boys. She has a lot. She has a lot of strings. Alright, so bow before me. This will be your typical punish string. It is -10 on block if you finish the whole thing, so make sure you do hit confirm this. It's only -2 on the first 2 hits, so make sure the first 2 hits land and then do the last hit if you want to. However, as you can see, the third hit knocks it down, so you don't want to actually do it, and it also can't special cancel either, so I don't see a good reason to finish this string most of the time. And then as far as the range goes, her standing 1 is okay. Nothing great, but nothing terrible either. It's an okay range on her standing 1. And then we have Man-Eater. What's Man-Eater like? Whoa, the range on that is actually abysmal. You have to be right in their face to even land this thing. Look how bad the range is on this. It's 10 frames on startup, so it's a pretty fast mid. Can't complain about that. Can the final hit special cancel? It cannot, so only do the first 2 hits. What are the first 2 hits like on block? They're good, only -6, so not too bad. And then you special cancel it and get the combo going. I don't know, that mid is just really bad as far as range. I hope she has at least one more mid because that is abysmal. But next up we have Miss Me, let's see. Okay, big knockdown. What's that like on hit? I moved on too fast. So that is +33. So that's like a free dash up. Then maybe go for a throw, all that dirty stuff. That's going to be really strong for ending combos, especially in the corner. And also, what's it like on block, by the way? How is it on block? We didn't check that. So -14, that is fully punishable. Be careful doing this move on block. And last but not least, this string is also a crushing blow if you do a combo of 7 hits or more. Now, I personally do not know any combos yet with this character, so I'm going to wing it. And there you go, a little under 35%. That's not too bad, but I do love crushing blows like this. I love that Scorpion has it, and I love that Mileena has it too. I love combo crushing blows. I kind of wish the damage was a bit higher, but it's nothing bad. And then we have Playtime. I like the name. I like the name a lot. Is that a mid? That is a high, unfortunately. It's going to be a good whiff punish, but it is a high. The opponent could duck under it, and she knocks the opponent really far away. That last hit is an overhead, huh? That's really interesting, but I don't think you can special cancel that second hit anyway, so it's not really a mix-up. It's always going to be an overhead. Even so, it might catch some players week 1. And also, what's it like on block? Every time we gotta check what it's like on block. That is -13. Can she do like any projectiles from the air with that move? I don't think so. She has air projectiles, but not after that second hit, unfortunately. All right, then we have Flesh Pits. I love the name. Ooh, that's the reference to her classic combo from MK Trilogy. Okay, so it's not too bad. It's +24 on hit. That's good. It's not dial in. Yeah, it is actually. The first 3 hits have to be dialed in, but it's only -6, so that's not too bad. I kind of like that. That's not a terrible string at all. What's it like on block? It's +1. Not too bad. So she is plus. Unfortunately, her mid does not reach from that range. We know it doesn't, so I'm not sure what she can even enforce. Maybe this down 3, but that's also pretty slow. So I don't think being +1 really matters for Mileena, unfortunately. And next up, we have a little Unruly. Shout outs to Unruly. I'm super jelly, man. Your attack is in the game named after you. That's awesome. So the first hit is a low. That's a pretty decent mix-up. She does have the command overhead, so online in a bad connection, this could be a decent mix-up. Special cancel that first hit and get a combo going. However, real quick, what's it like on block? Let's go ahead and see. It's -16. Be very careful with this move on block, and I do believe in some variations she has a unique ender for this as well, and it's also a crushing blow. But what causes that crushing blow? Let's see. So it counters or punishes a high attack. Okay, that's interesting. I kind of wish it was just a punish, but she has to duck under something to make this happen, it looks like. But it can also punish it. So maybe if you block a high attack and then do this, it also counts. But if you do land this crushing blow, you get a combo started. So you can actually recover right away, as you can see, and get a combo going. So that's really cool. And next up, we have Intimidating Ways. Starts off high and then an overhead. So this move is actually a pretty decent whiff punish. I saw the AI doing it a lot. It has some decent range on it. And the second hit always flies forward too. So even if you land the first hit at max range, the second hit is pretty much guaranteed to hit. And since it does hit overhead, Mileena does have a low. There it is. So you could actually do this instead, and that's a mix-up, right? It's an overhead or it's a low. And look at that, the overhead's only -8, and look at the pushback. That is completely safe. Even in the corner, that is safe on block. So you have the overhead or you had the low for a sneaky mix-up. And not to mention, the damage is also really high as well, so a very easy hit confirm. We're already at 14% damage. That's not too bad. Ooh, so you're already getting like 27%. That was a very basic combo, but still some decent damage. And now it's time for Let Us Dance, or Lettuce Dance, as some people call it, the Salad Lettuce Dance. So starts off low, and second hit is also a low. That's going to be very interesting if Mileena has any overhead hitting special moves. On block, it's only -6. That's not too bad. It's also a big reference to her string in MK9. What's the damage like? Oh, it knocks down. That's like the only deal breaker. I think it always did, but that's a bit of a shame. I wanted the combo after that. What's the damage like? 116. Pretty good damage, and on hit, what's it like? Not too bad at +21. Okay, that's not bad. She probably does duck, actually, so that's a good thing. It ducks, and so does this, so she has two different attacks that hit low and also kind of duck under attack, so a very evasive character. And then last but not least, we have all or nothing. So I'm wondering if she jumps over attacks, kind of like Jade does. Can she avoid certain lows this way? That would be interesting. And as you just saw, the final hit is also an overhead, so instead of the overhead, you could do her low instead, and that's now a 50-50. If you spin the bar, it's a pretty damaging 50-50 at 15%, right? So not half bad. Does the overhead combo? It unfortunately doesn't. I feel like it definitely should, but at least the first two hits cancel, and the damage is pretty good at 58. Well, actually, that's pretty low. I lied. That's pretty low damage, so not a terrible string. I'm personally hoping that it hops over some lows to make it a bit better. So unfortunately, nothing about Mileena's attack strings have really blown me away. Her universal stuff seems okay, but her attack strings are either average or a bit lacking in my personal opinion. Alright, so now it's time for the special moves. So this is variation 1, which is a bit of a zoning variation. Even back in Mortal Kombat 9 and X, Mileena did have the ability to zone pretty well. So let's go ahead and have a look at this first variation. First up, we have the air size. Pretty darn good, and two of them, not too bad. Can she amplify? She can, but she just drops quickly, so that's interesting. It's kind of like how Katana can do that. Can she combo after if she does do that? No, unfortunately, it does not appear you can cancel out of them and then keep the combo going, but even so, what's it like on block, for example? That's probably why you would do it, right? Okay, it's +1. So if done correctly, you can do a jump in, they block it, you amplify, and then you're actually plus on block. Not too bad, but then again, jumping kicks are already plus on block, so it might not be super good, but even so, it's just one more way to be plus on block, so not too bad. All right, and next up we have the low side blast. So as mentioned earlier, a pretty decent mix-up. I imagine very unsafe on block, -21. What's the amplify like? -13, but tons of pushback, so some characters like Sub-Zero could punish this with their slide, but some characters are gonna have a pretty tough time punishing this. And in fact, that's especially true if spaced correctly with moves that have pushback, so look at that. So even further away, once again, you're gonna have to be Sub-Zero or somebody else with a far-reaching fast special move to punish these sides when amplified. And then on top of that, these crushing blow if you duck under a high attack, and boom, there's the damage, 27, almost 28%, not too bad. So not only can Mileena zone with these, but she can also counter zone with them as well. If you're fighting someone who loves to throw a bunch of high projectiles, you can duck under them, say no, and get a pretty beefy amount of damage. Now, it's very important to mention that this does replace her regular side toss. So I'm doing back forward 1 right now, and I don't have the regular size because low size replaced them completely. And then we have the teleport drop. So this move is actually universal. You have it in every variation. If you spin the bar, ooh, she tosses them and she's +15, and you can actually control which way she throws them too. Just hold that direction and she will throw them that way. So the regular version, not too bad, it's +3. Now unfortunately you can't combo after the amplified version like in MKX, so that's a bit of a nerf, but the damage is decent, and it's still a great way for avoiding projectiles on reaction, especially if you're far away. The opponent throws a projectile, you go nope, and you punish them for it. And in this variation, you can also teleport drop from the air, though unfortunately she goes all the way down to the ground before teleporting, so you could accidentally put yourself in harm's way, whether it's an attack or a projectile. You could fall right on it even though you do it from the air. So that's not ideal, but the one nice scenario is you could land a jumping kick and then cancel into this and get almost 20% damage. So that's one benefit of teleporting from the air, but outside of that, it honestly doesn't seem like a very good move. And last but not least, we have the ball roll. So this thing is very minus on block at -26, but the range on it is not too bad, and it's also 13 frames on startup, so Mileena can punish a lot of things with this special move. And unfortunately, you do have to spin the bar if you want to combo after it. So once again, a pretty big nerf from both MK9 and MKX, but still seems like a pretty decent move for punishing things. And that's especially true against projectiles because Mileena gets low very, very quickly. So if the enemy throws projectiles all the time, you can say no, catch him with this, spin the bar, and then get your combo going for some decent damage. And that's about it for variation 1. Once again, this is the zoning variation. I think the low psi is the best thing about this variation. Great for counter zoning. It can also keep itself safe when amplified on block, so not half bad. The air size might be okay too, but I'm not super hype on them, and the air teleport drop seems almost useless in most scenarios. And next up we have variation 2. So this build does give Mileena several new enders to her attack string. So for example, riding dirty. So this string actually does end with an unblockable throw. So check that out. I'm gonna tell Devora to block, and this last hit comes through, so that's a built-in tick throw. It only does 10%, but imagine you're very low on life. Mileena goes for this, that's really scary. Now you gotta duck or jump to avoid this thing, but Mileena does have a different ender right here that hits mid, so that of course will catch you ducking and get the knockdown as well. And then we have a losing control. Boom, stabs them, throws them down, leaves them close, and at plus 15. That's not too bad. And that's also a pretty fun way to end combos, I believe, as well. Oh, but I don't have the ball roll in this variation, so take my word for it, it's a good way to end combos. But then when you amplify this move, it gets even better. So for starters, they just don't have a wake up. No invincible anything to escape your pressure, and you're left at plus 20. So that's plenty of time to dash in and keep abusing the opponent. They're pretty much forced to block as long as your timing is on point. And next we have the special moves. I wanted to start off with Psy Blast because before we didn't have this in variation 1. As you can see, hits twice, they are both highs. If you amplify, she throws out 2 more, and those actually hit low. Wow, I was not expecting that. Now what's it like on block? Oh my gosh, look at all that pushback in minus 10. So if you want to play Mileena a bit safer, these size are actually even better than her low size. What are the regular ones like? They're minus 16, but look at all this pushback. Once again, unless you're Sub-Zero or somebody else with a fast special move, that's actually not bad. Minus 16 with all that pushback is not terrible. But if you want to make sure you're completely safe, then spin that bar. And then we have Stabby Scotch. So this is a command grab, so it's in fact unblockable. So stuff like this, for example, boom, that's a tick throw. Oh, it's not? Oh no, that's not a tick throw. Oh, you can't do standing 1. Maybe you can do crouching 1. Yeah, you can do that. So crouching 1 is a tick throw into this move, and they're forced to deal with that if they don't jump or duck. In fact, does it hit mid? It doesn't say. I'm gonna have to tell Devora to duck and see if it hits mid or not. So go ahead and duck for me. It's a high, darn. So the opponent could duck under it, unfortunately, but at the same time, that's nothing uncommon. A lot of command grabs do hit high in this game. And to make up for it, this move does have a crushing blow. If you catch a roll or break armor with this move, you get this crushing blow. It does 31%, so not half bad. And unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time to check for tick throws, so please post any tick throw setups on block in the comment section down below. I'd love to see them. And then last but not least, it's time for the Condom Dash. So this is the low slide that you saw in the trailer. It gets low very quickly, so great for avoiding projectiles. And look at the range on this thing too. It almost goes full screen, so tons of range and also very quick, which is all good news, but unfortunately it replaces the ball roll, and that sucks because it means way less combos. But even so, I don't want to be too harsh on this move. It's good for more than just going under projectiles and stuff like that. So for starters, you can hold it down and extend its range even further, so if you're really far away, you go in. You can also amplify it and get a bit more damage. Look at that, 110. Not too bad. By default, what's it do? About 60, so almost double damage if you spin the bar, and in fact, you can actually amplify it twice. I don't know why you would, because the damage is not worth it in my opinion, only a bit more than a regular throw. So unless it wins the match for you, I don't recommend spending 2 bars on this one special move. And then finally, perhaps the scariest thing about this move, you can cancel it, so that seems pretty decent. Now you don't recover immediately after you cancel it. That's kind of the deal breaker. It's not as fast as Scorpion's teleport cancel, for example. I was kind of hoping it would be, because that would mean crazy good pressure on block, but unfortunately it's not that fast. But even so, I could see if fighting somebody online, you go for this, they expect the low, you cancel it, go for a throw or a mid, all that good stuff. So it's still great for pressure on block, but it's not quite as fast as I wish it was. So overall, it's a pretty fun move. It's going to be great for pressure on block. I just hate that it replaces the ball roll, because that means way less combos. And even though you can amplify it twice, you're still not getting anywhere near the damage you would get if you had the regular ball roll. It's still going to be great for pressure, and I love the animation on it. I love how great it is for counter zoning. It's going to be a lot of fun, but since it does remove the ball roll, I don't see myself using this move very often. And then finally we have variation 3, and it seems like they took everything that wasn't already being used and put it in this variation. So first up we have Side Slide. This move is interesting. You can actually hold it down and it will keep going, and then you choose when you want to release it, so it could be a decent anti-air. I can't get it to land for the life of me, but there you go, it hits mid. What's it like on block? I'm pretty curious. So on block, it's -8, so pretty much unpunishable, right? In fact, it's definitely unpunishable. That's cool. And then you can also amplify it. And you can choose to amplify it after you see it hit, so that's kind of cool. Or you can amplify it even when it misses, which is even cooler still. And in fact, that second hit does track the opponent, so if the first hit misses, the second hit will still catch them, and then if it counters or punishes, you get a crushing blow for about 16%. And while the damage isn't that high, look at the opponent, they're staggered, so I bet you can actually combo after this thing. Let's find out. Okay, yeah, you can definitely combo after this thing. They're stunned for a pretty good amount of time, so it's actually a really good combo starter. I can tell you right now, against casuals, this move's going to be fantastic. They'll block the first hit, then try to attack right away and get caught by that crushing blow, and you get a full combo. Now against a good player, I'm not sure how useful this amplify is going to be, but for the first week against a bunch of beginners, it's going to be a really good move. And next up we have Vanish. So for starters, this input is terrible. You have to hold block to even do it, but then you're invisible for a pretty good amount of time, and as we mentioned earlier, Mileena does have some mix-ups. She has an overhead leaping attack, she has a low attack, the second hit right here is also an overhead, so blocking her is not going to be easy. So going invisible will have its perks. Now here's the problem, it actually does lower Mileena's damage, which I think is a bit unnecessary, but just keep in mind that's how the game works at the moment. You go invisible and the opponent can't see your mix-ups, but also your attacks will do less damage overall. But even so, I can see it being a great way to end combos. Do something like this. You're invisible, now they gotta deal with all your shenanigans. There's an overhead, right? Here's a low, all that sneaky stuff. Now you're not invisible for very long, so it could just be a gimmicky move and not that useful at all, but the fact that you can go invisible and it only costs 1 bar seems pretty decent, even if your damage is nerfed a bit. And then last but not least, we have Rolling Thunder. So now Mileena hits several times with her ball roll for a bit more damage in her combos, especially for ending combos. So for example, this combo right here now has Mileena easily getting around 30% every time she touches you. Look at that, not too shabby. However, the downside is, since Mileena does roll into the air, it's not as good at going under projectiles, but thankfully you can just hold down the attack button and she will do the regular ball roll, which is still great for avoiding projectiles. Or in other words, you have access to both ball rolls. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. You can still avoid projectiles very easily, or if you want some more damage in your combos, you can do Rolling Thunder. And that's it for Variation 3. I like Rolling Thunder a lot, and I think Vanish might have some applications. It's a lot easier, by the way, to do the motion if you use it to end combos or special cancel on hit. And honestly, even Side Slide seems useful as well. It keeps you safe a majority of the time, and then if you catch him with the amplify, you get a free combo thanks to that crushing blow. But overall, I think Rolling Thunder is going to be my favorite move in this variation, and whenever I do a custom variation in Kombat League, I think I want to keep this move. I love the extra damage. And believe it or not, that's actually it for all of Mileena's different abilities. She doesn't have any outliers that I can show in Variation 4, so I made this build for pretty much no reason, but at least we can check out the awesome costume. So now's the part where I review Mileena in a nutshell. So I think her combo damage is okay when you consider how versatile she is, about 33%. It's on the low side, but she can avoid projectiles, she can zone, she has mix-ups, all that good stuff. However, I do take a tiny issue with her back one because 10 frames is great, but the range is pretty abysmal, so be warned the opponent's gonna mash uppercut and everything else against this move, because even Mileena herself, she actually pushes the opponent back a little bit before it even reaches them, so it's not a very good hitbox. However, thankfully I have found a workaround, so if you land forward 2, you're actually at +7 and you're close enough for this move to reach. So if you land this move, on hit you're close enough to reinforce the back 1 and go for all your good stuff. And that's awesome because forward 2 is also completely safe on block as well at only -7, and in fact Mileena's safe overall. This overhead, pretty safe, right? Only -8. This leaping overhead is also safe, and this low attack is safe as well. So Mileena is safe in a lot of regards, and I love that. So outside of that back 1, I really can't complain that much. I just wish her combos went on for a bit longer. It seems like the ball roll is her only way to extend combos, and I wish she had a bit more moves to use. I kinda wish she was like Scorpion and had at least 2 special moves to extend her combos with, even if you wanted to spin both bars in the same combo. That would be really cool. Once again, put simply, Mileena is a jack of all trades. She's gonna be great for counter zoning. She's gonna have some decent rushdown and zoning of her own. She has some decent mix-ups, a lot of which are completely safe on block, so the risk factor isn't that high. So to keep things balanced, NetherRealm did nerf her damage a little bit. It's either average or a bit below average, honestly. But overall, I can't complain. I think her variety of moves will make her a force to be reckoned with online and at tournaments. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How do you feel about Mileena? And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help the channel out a ton. And make sure to end that combo by suplexing that subscribe button. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.